Welcome back to the SolarPunkPro podcast. I'm James Vincent. If you're joining us for the first time, you might want to go back and listen to part 1 of why your HVAC contractor is lying to you about heat pumps and making bank while you freeze. This is where we expose the financial conflicts of interest, driving misinformation about heat pumps, and debunk the common myths contractors are using to steer you away from them. Today, in part 2, we're going to pull back the curtain on the building science that truly makes heat pumps shine, and why many contractors conveniently ignore it. And no, it does not involve you spending a fortune on some exotic, super-insulated house. So, let's get started, shall we? Now, before anyone tells you, well, sure, heat pumps work for that house because you probably spent $100,000 on some super-insulated fancy house, let me stop you right there. This house, yeah, it's not some exotic, ultra-efficient building. It's standard wood frame with 2x6 walls, standard construction, not fancy structural insulated panels. I've got R49 insulation in the attic. That's great. It's not exceptional. Building code here, minimum R49 in the attic. Spray foam and air sealing. This is super important. We'll come back to this. Got standard double pane vinyl windows. Not triple pane, not Egon, not Aragon, not E, that, Mo, that. No, these are not fancy imports. This is basic building science applied correctly, not some experimental eco-mansion. Because here's what I did that actually matters. Energy efficiency first. Before I even thought about heat pumps or solar panels, I focused on making sure this house was airtight and well insulated. This is called the efficiency first approach, and it's the single most cost-effective investment you can make. Air sealing. We're talking spray foam in the rim joists, sealing all the penetrations, gaskets around the outlets. Attic insulation brought up to R49. Wall insulation, my walls, 2x6, now they have R19 spray foam insulation. Why this matters for heat pump performance. Heat pumps are sized based on my heating load, how much my heat my house loses. The better insulated and air sealed my house is, the smaller and cheaper the heat pump is that I need. This is the math that everyone misses. Most people do this backwards. They skip the efficiency work. It's unglamorous, right? It's behind the walls. It's up in the attic. They skip the efficiency work. Then they need a massive heat pump to compensate for a leaky, poorly insulated house. So that means higher equipment costs, bigger heat pump needed, higher operating costs, more energy to heat a leaky home, worse performance. You've got uncomfortable spots in your home, higher maintenance. Equipment is working harder, it wears out faster. Then they blame the heat pump for not working, when really the problem is they try to use technology to solve a building science problem. The right sequence is efficiency first. Air sealing, insulation. These cost $4,000 to $8,000 for most homes. There's tons of rebates out there available. Right sizing that equipment. That means smaller, cheaper heat pumps because your house isn't as leaky. Lower operating costs forever because you've reduced your fundamental energy needs. Better performance. Equipment isn't struggling to compensate for building flaws. If the power does go out in this house and I don't have that heat pump running, this house is going to stay at temperature for days because it doesn't leak heat. This isn't exotic technology. This is not expensive techniques. This is standard building science that's been understood for over 40 years. Spray foam those rim joists. Air seal those penetrations. Get that attic insulation up to code. 2x6 wall construction, make sure you've got good insulation in there. What I did not do, I didn't install expensive triple pane European windows. I did not use structural insulated panels, SIPs. I did not build to a passive house standard. I did not install a ground source heat pump. I did not use any exotic materials or experimental techniques. I used cost-effective, proven building science techniques that any competent contractor or even seasoned DIYer can implement. The total investment was under $6,000. Payback period through reduced equipment needs and operating costs, 1 year. And so why do contractors talk about this? Here's the uncomfortable truth. If your HVAC contractor told you to spend $5,000 on air sealing and insulation before buying a new furnace or heat pump, you would buy a smaller, cheaper system. You'd need less fuel or electricity. You'd require less maintenance. You'd have fewer emergency breakdowns. All of this reduces the revenue. The business model depends on selling you equipment to compensate for building deficiencies instead of fixing the building deficiency. It's like a mechanic who keeps selling you new tires instead of fixing your alignment problem on that Ford. The tires aren't the issue. but fixing the actual issue would be less profitable. The energy audit everyone needs, but nobody does before you install any heating system, furnace, boiler, heat pump. Get an energy audit. This should include a blower door test, so that'll measure how leaky your home is. Infrared scan, this shows where you're losing heat. Get a manual J calculation. This will determine actual heating and cooling loads. Do a cost-benefit analysis. Which improvements, insulation, air sealing, gives you the best return on investment? Costs? If you don't get a rebate or a free energy audit in your area, $300 to $600. This value, this will tell you exactly what your house needs instead of you guessing. Most HVAC contractors, they skip this entirely. They look at your house, they look at the square footage, they apply a rule of thumb, which is usually wrong, and then they sell you upsized equipment to make sure you have enough capacity. Then, when that oversized equipment doesn't perform well, they tell you the technology doesn't work. So my message to anyone considering heat pumps, don't start with the equipment, start with building science. So, let me now tell you something remarkable that is happening right now here in the coldest parts of America, and why it's not happening where you live. Maine? Yeah, they have over 100,000 heat pumps installed in one of the coldest states in America. This proves that this technology works in extreme cold. They have figured out the installer training and quality control problems that other states have. They've created financial incentives that overcome contractor resistance. They're building a workforce that actually knows how to install heat pumps properly. Efficiency Maine, that's the state agency here, they provide contractor training and certification. This is free for contractors who participate. They provide customer rebates, $500 to $2,500 per system, depending on income. Quality assurance inspections. They catch bad installations early. Public education campaigns. They have taught these customers in Maine to know what to demand. The results? Maine had 10,000 heat pumps when I installed this in 2019. Now, in 2025, they have over 100,000 heat pumps installed. The average heating cost reductions are anywhere between 30 to 50% compared to oil and propane. Customer satisfaction rates, 90% plus, well higher than furnace satisfaction. New contractors, they're entering the market specifically for heat pumps. So, when states are funding workforce development, that's a leading indicator of massive job growth. New England is training hundreds of new heat pump installers because demand is outpacing supply. Now, why maybe your state isn't doing this? Fossil fuel lobbying. Utility companies, they want you burning gas. HVAC industry lobbying, the contractors want to protect service revenue. Political resistance to electrification mandates. Lack of customer demand because of contractor misinformation. This is how this perpetuates itself. Customers don't demand heat pumps because contractors say they don't work. Contractors don't learn how to install heat pumps because customers don't demand them. States don't fund training because there's no apparent demand. Breaking this loop requires either policy intervention or educated customers. Maine broke the loop with policy, but you can break it in your market just by being an educated customer who demands proper installations. Now, let's talk about why everything I just explained creates one of the best career opportunities in America right now. There are currently not enough qualified heat pump installers to meet the demand in states with strong incentive programs. This creates a rare market condition where demand exceeds supply. Customers are willing to pay premium pricing. Competition from incumbent contractors is minimal because they refuse to adapt. New entrants can capture market share quickly. So what are some career paths? HVAC tech. If you're already an HVAC tech, just go get heat pump certified. Starting salary, $80,000 to $120,000 per employee. Business owner potential, hang your own shingle, $120,000 to $250,000 per year after establishing your reputation. This is the fastest path for people already in the trades. Career path number 2, career change to an installation apprentice. You don't have any HVAC experience. Trade school plus apprenticeship, you can become an apprentice in 6 months or less. $60,000 to $80,000 as a journeyman per year career. After about 5 to 7 years of experience, you too could become your own business owner. This is the best path for corporate refugees who want tangible work. If you're sick of sitting in a cubicle behind a computer and you want to get outside and work with your hands, this is a great path for you. Are you in sales or customer service? There's a huge need for technical sales roles for heat pump companies. You need to help customers understand this technology, navigate these incentives. These salaries, $70,000 to $120,000 per year plus commission. Perfect for people with sales experience but want a meaningful product to sell. An energy auditor, consultant. This is where I got my start. You go in and you assess homes for heat pumps, insulation, air sealing. You perform manual J calculations correctly. You work with multiple contractors or as an independent. Your salary, $50,000, $60,000, $80,000, $95,000, $120,000 per year. This is great for analytical people who like problem solving. Homes, every single home is a puzzle that you get to solve. Most states, they are offering heat pump installation certification programs in 3 to 6 months. Apprenticeship programs with partnering contractors. Community college HVAC programs with heat pump focus. Free or subsidized training through utility programs. Job placement rates, 95% or higher because demand exceeds supply. But this moment won't last. Right now, heat pumps are in the early adoption curve. Demand is growing faster than installer capacity. This creates premium pricing and easy market entry for new players. As this technology gets deployed, it opens up all sorts of creative solutions to create new business opportunities. Take a look at Zero Homes. These guys are based in Denver, Colorado. They created an app that any homeowner can get, and they can go around their home using their smartphone and get a heat pump quote. Zero Homes is able to then create a design based on accurate manual J's, and then they rely on their network of trusted local heat pump installation professionals to finish their job. With a stated goal all the way back in 2023 to install 20 million heat pumps by 2030, we got to get going. Look, I'm not here to tell you that every HVAC contractor is malicious. Most are just following the business model that they learned. But the results are the same. Millions of Americans are paying $1,500 to $4,000 per year for heating oil when they could be paying $800 or $1,200 per year with a heat pump, or zero with a solar-powered heat pump. And their contractor won't tell them this because it threatens their recurring service revenue or fuel delivery profits. And this isn't about individual contractors being bad people. This is simply about a bad incentive structure where the people who benefit from equipment failure and fuel dependency are the same ones installing and maintaining that equipment. And here's what should terrify incumbent contractors. A new generation of installers are coming. They're entering the market. They want to install the equipment that works correctly. They're people who understand that building a business on customer satisfaction and referrals is more sustainable than building it on equipment failure and fuel dependency. These new contractors are gonna dominate this market in 5 to 10 years. The question is whether you want to be one of them. I heat my home in Western Maine, halfway to the North Pole, where it gets to negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit with solar-powered heat pumps. No backup, no furnace, no fuel deliveries. Standard 2x6 wall construction, R49 attic insulation. Basic building science applied correctly, and I save $4,000 per year compared to my neighbors who are still burning oil. The technology works. The building science works. The economics work. What doesn't work is a business model built on selling you fuel and service contract. So here's what I want you to do next. If you're a homeowner researching heat pumps, go ahead. Book a free 30-minute call with me. I'll help you understand whether your home is ready for a heat pump or what efficiency work you should do first. What heat pumps make sense for your home and climate, what incentives you qualify for, federal, state, and utility, how to evaluate contractor quotes and spot red flags, what questions to ask to avoid getting scammed. Click the QR code to get the link, or go ahead, find me on Instagram at SolarPunkPro. If you're considering a career change into the trades, the heat pump installation market is one of the fastest growing trade opportunities in America right now. And unlike plumbing or electrical, you're getting in at the ground floor of a technology transition where demand massively exceeds supply. I'll send you my very specific, to your area, industry analysis on heat pump career paths, where to get training, what certificates matter, which regions are hiring, what realistic salary progressions look like, and why the timing is perfect for right now. Completely free. Just message me on Instagram, click the QR code, we can do free 30 minutes. I'm happy to help because we need everybody fighting this good fight. Now, if you're an HVAC contractor already and you're listening to this, I'm not trying to trash your profession. I'm trying to point out that the business model that worked for 50 years with furnaces and fuel delivery, it isn't going to work in a heat pump world. And the contractors who adapt first are going to capture the most market share. You can either be the contractor who tells customers heat pumps don't work while your competition builds businesses around them, or you can be the contractor who gets trained, does it right, and dominates your market. Your choice, but the market is moving whether you move with it or not. Because here's what I want you to remember. We're here for a good time, not a long time. So if you're going to spend 40 plus hours a week working, it might as well be on installing technology that actually helps people instead of maintaining equipment that's designed to fail and keep customers dependent on fuel deliveries. The heat pump transition is happening whether your local contractor wants it or not. Maine? Yeah, we've proven it works. In extreme cold, states across the country are following their lead. The only question is whether you'll be part of building it or part of resisting it. I'm James Manzer. This has been the SolarPunkPro podcast, and I'll see you next week.